Hello everyone and welcome to Nancy's Magic Touch and DIYs. In today's video, I am going to share with you how to transform dollar store birdhouse into beautiful home decor for your space. These are very easy to do and I'm going to show you different techniques on how to decorate them. So without any further ado guys, just grab your tea and let's get started.
I've bought this little birdhouse for $3.50 and it's pretty the way it is, so I'm just gonna leave it as is and I'm just going to add to it. In my stamp collection, I have this beautiful little birdhouse set and I am going to use one of the stamps in it to stamp something on my birdhouse. And I'm gonna use this stamp. It says bless this nest. And I'm going to need some ink for this and an acrylic block, and I'm going to do a stamping technique to beautify this little birdhouse. I'm going to use some chocolate brown ink, and I'm simply going to stamp this little stamp on the front face of my birdhouse. You want to apply good pressure to make sure that the ink is nice and even. You want to make sure that you clean your stamp right away after using them so that no ink residue stays on your stamp for future use. Now I'm using another little stamp. It's just a little decorative stamp and it's tiny, so it's easy to apply. I'm using a nice coral color for this, and I am just going to randomly place them here, there, and everywhere where I think they look good. If you get any ink on your block, you want to make sure that you wipe that off because you may accidentally put that excess ink on your birdhouse. You may also have to move your stamp on your block in different areas to make it easier to apply in different spots on your birdhouse. I'm going to apply these little stamps all around my birdhouse. Now I'm going to take the same brown ink and a makeup sponge, and I'm going to dab that in my ink and rub it on the bottom part of the birdhouse to give it a look similar to the roof. So I'm trying to achieve a similar color on the bottom as the top. Now I'm going to go ahead and rub that all along the edges of the roof, also on the top of the roof as well, just to give it a little bit more of a defined look and a little bit more warm and rustic. Now I'm going to take 4 little wooden blocks I have. They are already stained with my Alexandria stain, and I'm just going to make some legs for the birdhouse, but first I'm going to dab some of that brown ink onto it to give it the same color as the roof. And now I'm simply going to glue them with my hot glue. I realized that I forgot to ink the little perch. So I'm going to take some of my brown ink and carefully apply some ink to that area. Now I'm going to apply one of these wooden rings. I got this at the dollar store in a pack. There's quite a bit in the pack, and I inked it as well with the same brown ink as the rest of the house. And I'm just going to hot glue this in place. And here's the result. I beautified this little birdhouse with a stamping technique. I bought this birdhouse at the dollar store for $3.50. And I also grabbed a pack of napkin in the purple. I thought the purple was very pretty. Now I'm going to use some of my white crafts paint, and I'm going to go ahead and paint all the roof. So the bottom edge of the roof and the roof all around. And I'm also going to paint the edge of the bottom part of the birdhouse. I've changed my mind. I'm not going to paint this part and this part of the birdhouse just because I'm going to do something different with it. Now that I have my roof painted, I'm going to take my Alexandria stain by Benjamin Moore. And I am going to carefully stain this section of the top part of the roof and the bottom part of the birdhouse. I'm using a very small paintbrush for this. I have also decided to do the edges of the roof in the same stain color. And now let's not forget the little perch. Now that the stain is dry, I am going to use my Bear paint in the plum color, and I am going to paint the whole body of the birdhouse. Now I'm going to use my Mod Podge along with a sponge brush, and I'm going to take my purple napkins that I got at the dollar store for $1.25, and I am going to make the roof with that. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the napkin apart and just keep the layer with the color on it. I'm going to go around the napkin and cut all that edges that has that little groove in it, like little details. Now I'm going to cut that napkin in half. I'm going to apply my Mud Podge onto the roof area and then place my napkin on top. Now I'm going to take a nail file and just file the excess of the napkin that I don't need. Now I'm going to apply a Mud Podge on the top, and I'm actually not going to make a smooth surface. I want to have wrinkle in the roof just to make it old looking and more rustic. But if you like more of a clean line and something really smooth, you could just do the smooth effect by really going easy on when you apply the Mud Podge. But I want mine to be more rustic, so I'm just actually gonna dab it a little bit hard just to create some crease and stuff. But like I said, if you want a clean line, just do like a smooth surface, just rub down very easily. And you can see the wrinkles that I'm creating. While I'm waiting for my roof to dry, I am going to take some white crafts paint and a brush, and I'm just going to dry brush some of that paint onto the purple just to make it a little bit more, then again, rustic, a little bit more of a warm feeling. So I'm just going to lightly rub that white paint all over the birdhouse. Now I'm going to take my black wax by Bear, and I am going to take a wax brush, and I am going to apply some of that wax basically all over the birdhouse where I want a little bit darker area. Now, if you want your house to be more of a clean look, I suggest you don't do this. I like mine to be more rustic, more worn out, more old looking. As you can see, it creates it much of a darker look. But if you like the white the way it was, don't apply any of this wax on it. Now I'm going to take another one of those wooden rings, and I am going to apply some black wax on it. I have these already stained from previous projects, so I'm just going to darken it up a little bit with my wax, and I am actually going to wipe the wax off with a rag just because it's just too much on it. I need to get rid of the excess of the wax, and I'm also going to wipe off a little bit of that wax off the roof just to make it a little bit brighter. Now I'm going to hot glue this ring in place. Now I'm going to use some tiny little branches that I got outside, and I'm going to hot glue a few of them onto my birdhouse. But first I am going to take some of my white crafts paint, and I'm just going to mellow them down a little bit by dry brushing some paint on them. Now I'm going to take some moss grass and just apply a little bit to the bottom by the little branches. And now I'm just going to trim that off a little bit and just clean it up. And here is the final result with using napkins to decorate your birdhouse. I got this little birdhouse at the dollar store for $3.50. I'm going to use my stain by Benjamin Moore. The name color is Alexandria. And I'm going to stain the whole roof and the bottom part of the birdhouse with a small brush. Now I'm going to use some paint. It's called Noble Blush and it's by Bear. And I'm going to paint the rest of the birdhouse. Now I had forgot to stain that little perch, so I'm not going to paint that. I'm going to come back with the stain and stain that little perch. Now I'm going to take some white feather that I have on hand that I've gotten at the dollar store, and I'm just going to cut them to size, the length that I need, and I'm just going to hot glue these feathers all around the roof. Now I'm going just to take a little bit of rope and wrap it around the top edge over here just to give it a nice finish. And I'm going to hot glue it in place. Now I'm taking another one of these rings. They are already stained again, and I'm just going to hot glue that in place. Now I'm taking some moss grass and I'm just going to glue a little bit on the bottom part of the birdhouse. Taking my scissors, I'm going to give this a little trim. Now I'm going to take one of my little Easter egg that I had left over that I got at the dollar store for $1.25 for a full pack. And I'm just going to take my white crafts paint and I'm going to paint that. Here's the final result. I went and glued that little white egg in place. And this is a way to decorate your birdhouse with feathers.
Well, that's it for this video, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, please give me the thumbs up. I would love to hear in the comments down below which technique was your favorite. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do that. Until next time, folks, have yourself a great day.